Okay, hey, I'll try to do a video. I hope it's not too noisy. You can hear some birds in the background. Woo woo, woo woo. And I'm walking over a bridge here, just about to. Little community center back there. Anyway, so it's a somewhat cold Sunday morning, but not too bad actually. And I wanted to just say something that, yeah, today, as any day, it's always good to get to know yourself on a deeper level and a more happy understanding of yourself. Anytime is good for that, especially with what's going on in the world right now. It's crucial to be aware, be awake. Don't take things overly serious to the point of, like, you know, fear and desperation, but, you know, not to make light of everything either. So just somewhere in the middle. That was a new quote of late. Oh, big seagull, can you see it? Just to be content even when you're not content, in as far as like dealing with the world changes. But realize good things are coming, as always, as they always have to. The universe does not exist to make itself bad, that's for sure. So what I want to say was, if you look at the stages and eras humanity has been through, at the very offset, the very first stages of when spirit started to incarnate here, it was a time of, we allowed ourselves to be self-deceived, kind of, in a way of thinking, and the powers that be, oh, it's not too windy, of necessity, it had to go down like this for us to rise higher, lest we be ignorant. That is why they say when humanity will rise, you know, above these things, we're going to have the ability to know more even than the fixed gods or the fixed angels who serve a purpose, but it's not necessarily a way of where they get promoted, or how would you say, I don't know how to say that. I think you know what I mean by fixed, something that's assigned to a specific duty and that's what it does, whereas we are really a very evolving entity. We are the seeds of light. We are the saplings growing into strong trees by this point. I think that's pretty obvious. At least some people are kind of getting with that, so that's good.
There's a lot of
Oh, I'll show you a few little ducky poos here. I don't know if you can see the branch over there, little on the log, I should say. So this park's actually nice to me. It's been a friend of mine. Okay, anyway, so we are rapidly evolving entities. The body was a very, very humbling and necessary and beautiful package that we received to go through all these incarnations to get to the point where we needed to get to. And even though a lot of stuff seems bad and or in gray areas, it was every single thing was pretty important to bring humanity to where it was at the moment. So we can judge things, we can think about, you know, various levels of ignorance, and even I would dare say the word necessary evil, because there had to be the extremes of everything in order for there to be the overall balance. They would never exist if there was not extremities of stuff. So if you look at various human ignorances and all the warfare of our history, different religion things that popped up and things that went astray, all of it was necessary for the overall bigger balance, so that we would have something to compare it to. We would have things to gauge. We would have things to engage and disengage from, basically. So that gives us a unique position, because we're being trained as multi-level entities, as very micro gods indeed, even to question the great source of sources, because we needed to do this so that when we would, now that the time is coming for us to rise truly out of this type of existence, all that experience, all that energy, all those emotions we've balanced or almost balanced, it's all been very appropriate and important, right down to the last. So if we recognize that, if we, I don't know, have like a acceptance of it for what it is, then our ability to want to control things or to be afraid of things just sort of diminishes, because it's not really as bad as we thought. Right now, We are in the time of the merging. This is the time of the divine child. Now we're starting to walk on our own 2 feet. The time of the feminine, when the female energies had to be more in control, is actually over. It was at the beginning. It isn't now. The time of the patriarch and the masculine had its time, and it's ending now. It's now the time of the joining. Now it's the time of the merging. It's the time of the balance. It's the time of the yin yang to produce its child. That was the whole point. In early shamanic times, and in the very beginning of the world's history, it was earth worship and things like this, but that was the feminine. And then organized religion, which was the masculine, that went very astray and became control freak and violent and all sorts of things. So that time is over. This is the time of the child. This is the time of unity. This is the time of the divine flame to be in us, to grow and to prosper. So let's be mindful about that. This is the truth. You feel it in you already. Our mind doesn't need to be deluded into thinking of things or trying to impress certain people, or being in a state where it's stagnancy versus being too wishy-washy, too loosey-goosey and all over the place. And uncertainty and paranoia and the questioning of everything, it's also too far. There's some things that we know by common sense. There's some things that we know that are righteous by default. Love is the right way, for example. You don't have to question that. Even as, a person with a very tiny mind, like if you want to say tiny, like a small child, I mean, their love is pure and wonderful in so many cases. And that shows a lot. That shows we don't need to over-intellectualize everything. That means that our default nature was already meant to be really damn good. We complicated things. We can uncomplicate things. I just want to show a picture of the contrast of the evergreen tree versus the, what do you call that, the temperate deciduous? Maybe I'm getting it wrong. The carnivorous, I don't even know. I don't have the jargon. These old Latinized terms and whatnot. But, see, and a child's cute little sidewalk chalk. There you go. The classic hopscotch. Can I do it? I got a coffee in my hand. See, that's the point. The divine child. Like Jesus said, enter the kingdom of heaven as a child. How are we to be reborn? Well, yeah, in a way of speaking, exactly. Because it's time to be fully responsible and also joyful about that. As long as we put the responsibility on somebody else, or we think that we need to be guided and harnessed, then our power was given up. The governments and institutions and the banking systems and all this stuff, they're coming to realize we don't really need them anymore in the way that we did. Maybe some people do. I don't know, but a lot of us, maybe we don't. If you think about anytime there's like what is it? Boxing Day or Black Friday sale, everybody goes nuts fighting each other for the first spot to buy something. That's rubbish. And probably you guys watching this video are not of that mentality. Maybe once in a while if you really want a good deal, I don't know, you're desperate to impress or make someone else happy, I don't know. I'm not trying to judge it, I'm just saying. This coronavirus scared people buying an overabundance of things because of their greed and selfishness and fear. The concern over immortal things and comforts. Well, I don't think we want to starve and die, but this is also bringing out the worst in people as it's bringing out the best, but mostly the good is coming out. We have to evolve and become the divine child. There's nothing for it. There's no need to resist. We just see the crumbling away of ignorance and drunkenness and stupidity, so to say. Sorry if the video's shaky. I'm trying to do a nice little walk and talk. Maybe I'll keep it like that. But yeah, that's my point. Be the divine child. Be the subsistence, When we are being true and honoring the various aspects of ourselves that make us up, then we grow, we evolve. When we're feeling negative and down, when we have hatreds and jealousies and different things. Oh, even the crow wants to Agree with me? Okay. Hey, buddy. When we have all these negative things within us, basically what it means, like the word sin, it means to go away from truth, to deviate from what is righteous and balanced, in comparison to, you know, all of us have insecurities that we're dealing with on a day-to-day, but they can be conquered. They don't have to be long-lasting. And if we pay them attention, right, buddy? There you go. It's the message from the crows. If we pay them attention, then they do get healed. As they say, it is not the well who need a doctor, but the sick. With the doctor ourselves, and in the end, physician, heal thyself. Well, there you go. I don't think there's anything far away from us. I don't think there's anything that we can't rise to the occasion of and heal. And being that sweet divine child, the product and byproduct, after the intertwining of spirit and material existence, and now we have this unique position of seeing things with a pure eye and a pure heart, more and more and more. It's on the cusp. So there you have it. Staying true to that and honoring that and not neglecting, and then voila. And it's unlocked. We are unlocked to ourselves. Okay. I think I'll leave it at that. And there are some green leaves coming out. It's still very cold right now. You can see snow and ice still. Where I am, it's still somewhat chilly, but it's okay. We're glad for the crispness, and yeah, everything can be all right. So I wish everybody a good one. Stay true, and don't doubt the child coming out inside of your heart, and your higher awareness always is there. We're getting a deep lesson about shedding skin of former things. They're not necessary anymore. And they're not just gonna poof, go away in a second. It's just a process to get over. We gotta climb the ladder, get over the walls, scale the walls, and overcome these weird systems, advance them. You don't have to think of them as the enemy, the enemy, the enemy. Oh my God, they're out to get us, they're out to get us, they're out to get us. No. Stop thinking like that. It's just ignorance being flipped over now. It's ending. Don't empower it by fearing it. These shifts are coming, and a little few bumps here and there, but it's actually kind of a natural process. Be the child. Be the child. Be the child. All right, take it easy, folks. Catch you on the flip side. Cheerio.